Today's news. Today's news.
DC crash.
Plane and a helicopter both collided.
67 on board.
It's an unbearable sorrow. It's a heartbreaking.
Intense river search.
There are folks out there, there are dive teams out there.
Good morning. I'm Steve Chafin with the CBS World News Roundup. Disaster over the Potomac River.
I just saw a fireball and then it was just gone. They hit the river, but it was a CRJ and a helicopter that hit.
Air traffic control audio from Reagan National Airport near Washington, D.C. from liveatc.net describing a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter colliding in midair with an American Airlines regional jet, Flight 5342. It was coming into land last night from Wichita, Kansas. At Reagan National this morning, D.C. Fire Chief John Donnelly delivered the bad news.
We are now at a point where we are switching from a rescue operation to a recovery operation. At this point, we don't believe there are any survivors. And we have recovered 27 people from the plane and 1 from the helicopter.
60 passengers and 4 crew members were on the jet, 3 soldiers on the helicopter. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said the crash was preventable.
We have early indicators of what happened here. I will tell you with complete confidence, we have the safest airspace in the world.
Our CBS News team coverage begins with correspondent Nicole Stanton.
The regional jet was making its approach to the runway after taking off from Wichita, Kansas. The helicopter was said to be on a training mission and was asked by the control tower if it could see the plane. The pilot said it could right before going silent. A law enforcement official tells CBS News the helicopter is upside down, but appears to be mostly intact while the plane broke in multiple pieces, sitting now in 5 to 8 feet deep water. Police at the scene tell CBS News they're searching through 3 debris fields. Kansas Senator Roger Marshall offered this dire assessment.
And we're not seeing ambulances leave. We're not seeing life washes going out. And I'm just not very optimistic.
First responders laid out the challenge they face.
The water that we're operating in is about 8 feet deep. There is wind. There is pieces of ice out there. So it's just dangerous and hard to work in. And because there's not a lot of lights, you're out there searching every square inch of space to see if you can find anybody. Water is dark. It is murky. And that is a very tough condition for them to dive in.
Transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve says there are a lot of questions in the early stages of the investigation.
One of the things they really want more information about is why was that helicopter where it was when this collision happened. Those helicopters flying around Washington Reagan DCA is supposed to be at 200 feet or lower. It appears this collision happened above that 200-foot hard deck. So that is certainly a big question for investigators as they look into this. You have what would be known as TCAS, the collision avoidance system. Because they were below 1,000 feet, because they were landing, the audible alerts on that system are not active. So they would not necessarily have gotten that alert. So they may have never seen this helicopter coming.
Former National Transportation Safety Board Chairman Robert Plumwalt is a CBS News safety analyst.
They would have already been making the turn to line up with that runway. They're focused on the runway. I was an airline pilot for 24 years. I've landed on that runway many times. You're in the turn. You're looking to line up with that runway. You're not looking out here for other traffic at that point. Now, the real question is, where is the focus of that helicopter crew?
The last major fatal crash involving a U.S. commercial airliner was 16 years ago near Buffalo. The last one for American Airlines was back in 2001. Report passengers on the flight last night included a group of figure skaters, coaches, and family members who were returning from a development camp after the U.S. Figure Skating Championships in Wichita. 4 minutes after the hour.
Well, that's today's news. Today's news. I didn't hear any good news, did you? I didn't think so. I guess it's all about perspective. The glass is half full. Well, as always, I want to thank you again for coming along with me on these Dash Cam News adventures. You know the drill. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz. Bye-bye, everybody. It's 44 degrees in Oakland, California.